Born with a smile on his face on August 17, 1929 in Rochester, Minnesota, Hal Cuffel exuded the love and enthusiasm that he was raised with toward everyone and everything he touched. He developed an avid passion for sports and hobbies at a young age, such as football, basketball, soccer, baseball, track and field, fishing, tennis, and even golf, which he always had naturally good form on his swing and an intuitive sense of timing. He moved to McMinnville at the age of 10, quickly making friends and teammates by competing in nearly every sport and extracurricular activity, a trend that continued through his senior year at MHS in 1947. In a 3-year span, Hal was involved on the student council, finance committee, the drama club production staff and actor in the senior class play, prom committee, secretary of the school band, recreation committee co-founder, M Club member, and even student body president, all while lettering in 4 sports. He ran the 440 along with several other events on the varsity track team for 2 seasons, while balancing his time on the varsity baseball team as their starting third baseman for all 3, and leading them to an impressive 75% winning percentage. After 1 year on the JV basketball team, Hal lettered twice on varsity as their starting point guard, a title he shared with longtime friend Bob Collins.
We both pushed the tempo, and that's how Coach Robbins, that was his style of play. And then the first thing we do is look up and find, where's Hal? We get the bulk of our baskets, I'm talking about Hal and myself as guards, from layups, from shooting in close. We moved up and down the floor pretty quickly.
He led the Bears to 2 consecutive league championships and state tournament appearances, while winning 80% of their games. But it was on the football field where Hal Cuffel truly impressed, as people marveled at how a young man of only 5 feet 6 inches, 160 pounds, could be so effective playing against giants. He started at fullback for all 3 seasons, using his speed and quickness to dodge tacklers and tally up yardage. Hall of Fame coach Oral Robbins described him as one of the smartest runners and ball carriers he's ever coached, and someone who gives it their all at all times, whether in practice or a championship game.
I don't think there was anyone here in the state of Oregon that had his ability. You just couldn't tackle the guy. And in fact, in those days, he made what they called high school All-American. We talk about hype today, he was it.
During his career, the Grizzlies won 2 league championships, including their first ever for football in school history, and earned 2 state playoff berths while winning 71% of their contests. As a senior, Hal achieved the Bears' Most Valuable Player award. He was the league's leading rusher while being selected onto the All-League and All-State first teams, and he was honored as the unanimous league's Player of the Year, and by Oregon Football Annual magazine with his place on their all-running back team.
He was very shifty, and he would go right at you, and then all of a sudden you ducked your head and was going to plow him under, but he wasn't there. And that's how we did so well, is because of his shiftiness. He had enough strength, able to stiff arm and that type of thing, that got away from a lot of tacklers.
After graduating in 1947 with the O'Malley and the VFW Citizenship Award for his excellence in leadership and outstanding work ethic in academics and athletics, Hal accepted a full scholarship to play football for the University of Oregon. He gained invaluable experience on the freshman team in his first season, and earned a letter in each of the 3 following, ultimately becoming the starting fullback as a junior and senior. The Ducks won the 1948 Conference Championship, earning themselves a spot in the Cotton Bowl game against SMU, but unfortunately came up shy of the victory by just 1 touchdown. Hal put his heart and soul into every play, while continuing to be a blur to would-be tacklers. He also furthered his resume of extracurricular activities through his membership to Sigma Chi, the Order of the O, the Letterman and UO Duck Clubs, along with competing in several intramural sports, even winning a league championship in basketball in 1949, and occasionally playing drums in a few different bands all throughout college and beyond. After his graduation with a bachelor's degree in history in 1951, Hal married longtime high school sweetheart Beverly, and the two moved to Portland to start their family. Their son Curtis was born in 1952 and Stephen just 2 years later. Hal was a loving father who passed along his knowledge and enthusiasm for activities with great passion. He worked as a life insurance salesman, eventually becoming the district manager for a company in McMinnville, and enjoyed fishing, tennis, and golfing in his free time. In 1957, unexplainable back pain led doctors to discover a cancerous tumor in Hal's torso. But after several months of radiation, the cancer went into remission. However, when a head-on crash ruptured Hal's spleen, doctors found that the cancer had returned and taken over his liver. At that time, he decided to try an experimental new treatment called chemotherapy, which made him more comfortable until his passing several weeks later on April 14, 1959. Just 4 months and 3 days before his 30th birthday.
When you were around Hal Cuffel, either you were laughing because of what he did or said, or he was laughing over something that happened. He just saw a lot of fun in life. Therefore, he was fun to be around.
His funeral service in Portland had over 10,000 in attendance. Hal Cuffel was described as humorous, congenial, loving, generous, and an overall outstanding person who loved music, all of his activities like football and fishing, but most of all his family.
He was a special guy, a very fun guy to be around. He lightened up the world.
Today we remember the athlete, but those who knew him will always remember the man.